Do you regret anything that you did in this whole process?
It's hard to regret it just because I do believe that I'm trying to make Google and the world in general a better place by not confining us to our ideological echo chambers where only one side of the story can be heard and it's totally intolerant to other viewpoints and even scientific evidence.
What scientific evidence are you talking about? Because in the follow-up to your piece, there have been plenty of discussion about this, and discussion about the fact that there is no research to support this idea that there are biological causes for the lack of women in tech or the lack of women in leadership positions. I spoke to Megan Smith, who worked at Google, who was the former CTO for the United States, and she said that this is a myth.
Among psychologists, there's a consensus that prenatal testosterone does affect a lot of personality traits, and in particular, one's interest in people versus things. And I'm not saying that all men are different than all women, just that there's a distribution of these personality traits, and that distribution differs between men and women. And so there are very many capable women at Google, and I'm not trying to say that any of them are any worse than the average male engineer at Google. Just, I was trying to address why we don't have equal representation from the population. And it's largely because of the differing interests in people versus things, which is linked to prenatal testosterone.
Susan Wojcicki wrote a very impassioned response to this, and she said that your memo, had it been about Black people or Latinos or the LGBT community, that you wouldn't have anyone defending you. How do you respond to that?
So I think that that's just a false analogy, and she's trying to lump me in with racists and other bigots, which I'm not. I'm not a sexist, and I'm not a racist. So I think that that's just trying to smear my image rather than actually looking at the evidence. Very little of the responses have been actually looking at the science. They've just been calling me names or nitpicks of, oh, the formatting was a little wrong, or the original leaked document that someone else leaked didn't have any citations when my original document did.
You're arguing for ideological diversity and ideological inclusion. Don't you think that extends to women and minorities and all kinds of people? Google is making products for the world. Don't you need to have all kinds of people making those products?
So, yes, I support diversity and inclusion. And I think that also our lack of ideological diversity has actually hurt our project or our products. And it makes us think that, for example, just the stereotype that all conservatives are stupid, for example, that is widely held within very left-leaning circles. And that has hurt us. It makes us alienate large portions of the population.